Northwest, North Central will produce the first chairman. Then if it goes back again to this place, the one who produced should now give to another zone based on agreement. If they do that, they will still continue to provide a veritable platform to discuss, not to challenge government, federal government or something, no, but provide a platform where technical and critical national issues can be addressed. For example, I can tell you, there was a lot of effort by the then Governors Forum, even under Amici, to link up with international organizations and agencies to seek for assistance and support in terms of AIDS and what have you. I remember so many issues came with the, this polio eradication program, the Bill Gates Foundation. The Governors Forum played a major role. Okay. And there are other critical issues. Development issues. So even these issues of what you call of insecurity in the Northeast, we would have had a simple platform upon which the federal government can come in and contribute, and then we can all go in one direction and see what we can do to address the problem of the security of the country. But because everybody is scattered, it's on his own. So these things become difficult. So I would suggest the incoming administration to look at the potentiality of setting a structure from takeoff. That look, from now on, the southwest, or sorry, the south will produce, or the north will produce, and then from the whatever zone, whatever section of the country you take, a particular zone will produce the first chairman, 2 years. Within one term, it will go to north and south. Yep. If it is north that starts it for 2 years, then south can take it for 2 years. And then it will come back by the next term, it will go back, and that's why we studied the American National Governance forum structure. And we adapted it as our own. But unfortunately, it could not work here.
I think it's down to values and principle that you talked about. With that issue of value and principle, was that what informed you didn't go to the Senate like your colleagues? You didn't contest to be a senator? And then you just want to sign off on May 29 as an ordinary barrister.
You see, I'm grateful to Almighty God. He gave me opportunity to be governor of my state for 8 years. And frankly speaking, I felt I should clear the way for another person or other people to venture for the Senate. I don't have to go to Senate. I never wanted to go to Senate.
Not that you're no longer ambitious.
No, what do you mean by, is there any woman that's not ambitious? Are you not ambitious? Very. Every one of you is ambitious. Yeah. Everybody has ambition. But the point of the matter is that I was not interested in going to Senate because I felt it's not proper for me after being governor for, look at it. That's my personal opinion. There are 3 senators in my state. Yeah. And governor is key, is number 1. And why do I want to climb up and climb down to be senator, for goodness sake? I felt like I was not being grateful to God. But that was my personal opinion. Others have a right to decide where they want to go, what they want to do, to serve this nation. But I felt I didn't want to run for Senate, and I did not.
Well, yes, even though you've never been hard to be criticizing your colleagues or anybody for that matter, I'd like you to shed light on something that I find difficult to understand. There is this perception that there is a drop in revenue and Nigeria is going broke. But from my own layman's perspective, a country that sells about 1.5 to 1.8 million barrels of oil every day at an average of about $60 a day, and then the customs service always meets its deadline or targets. In 3 months, sometimes it's 6 months. Federal Internal Revenue Service. Our budget hovers between, in the last 2 years, between 4 trillion naira and 4.23 trillion naira. So when government say that there is a drop in revenue and we're going to be in trouble, my simple understanding doesn't comprehend that. Now, given your position in government, how much of that is politics? How much of that is corruption? And how much of that is real?
No, you see, Garba, if you are selling something like Nigeria is selling oil and dependent largely on oil, and suddenly the price of whatever you are selling crashes, you have to adjust. That's the reality number 1.
Okay.
The budgets are premised on what is received. State budgets, federal budgets, local government budgets. From my budget in KATSINA State, for example, last year alone, had a shortfall in my anticipated revenue from federation account of over 30 billion naira at the end of the year. So even in advanced democracies, that is what they call budget cuts. You have to find a way to cut your budget. And the moment I noticed I was getting shortages, I had to cut my budget spending. This year, oil just suddenly crashed. And the crash was serious, $50 per barrel. From especially about 75 or so dollars.
Even $100. $100.
So tell me, how can I fund my project that I estimated I was going to get X amount, and that amount came in half? So I had to slow down I took my projects according to priority. Education, I made it my number one priority, so my spending on education cannot be interfered with, because I simply want to go and maybe do something that can wait. So I had to cut my spending. So even at the national level, this is so. The amount of money you are talking about that's generated from revenue, from taxation, including custom and exercise, and the amount of money that we are getting from crude sales, this money naturally is part of what is confirmed the estimate of government spending in totality. So if one sector is affected, like for example, even if you are collecting the whole amount you anticipated from custom, you are collecting 50% less from oil. That means automatically your programs will be affected. That's why you don't have money in the system. And on top of that, the demands are multitude. The demands on the federal pass, the demand on the state pass and local government is so enormous. Yes, the issue of corruption is there. This corruption has become a major problem in our country. But with God's help and with dedication and commitment of leaders, this can be addressed. And I do believe that, oil has started bouncing back. But that suggests to us as a nation that we must develop other assets, because oil is a diminishing asset. We must develop other assets of this nation. Agriculture is one. The potentials of agricultural development in Nigeria is enormous. Yes. This country can feed the rest of Africa if we are serious about agriculture. Look, when it's chilling winter in Europe, it's summer all year round in Africa and in Nigeria and in KATSINA. So you can grow from the first day of January to last day of December, anything under the sun in Nigeria, and you can export. But we have to put our acts together. Go around this nation, fly by air, see the abundance of cultivable land everywhere you go. It's lying fallow or it's lying as bushes. So unless we pay very serious attention to this sector, there is no how you can make the kind of progress you want to make. On top of that, there are other sectors. The solar mineral sector is a very critical area to tap and develop and grow. Once we pay attention to that, then of course a lot of productivity will emerge. So these are some of the aspects that I think we should pay attention to. But I don't subscribe to the idea that the money we are getting is enough for what we need, even now. And the subsidy on petrol is an issue. You want to remove subsidy, Nigerians will shout. You leave subsidy, income will fall. So it's a catch-22 situation. Even the income administration, I have nothing for them, honestly speaking. I don't know how they'll go around these issues. It's not the creation of PDP government. It's not the creation of President Jonathan. It's not the creation of any particular individual. This is how we found our economy. And let me even tell you something else. It's not just Nigerian economy. Economies of the world, or countries of the world, is seriously under pressure. Why is that?
But before we go on to the economies of the world, let's continue on that topic of agriculture. As you said, it's a major occupation of our people, and yet billions of dollars of scarce resources, of this money that we don't have, are spent on importing food annually, and millions of people are said to be unemployed. Why has it been difficult for people to understand that agriculture will solve two of our pressing national problems, that of food security and unemployment, and what can we do going forward?
We can do a lot. First of all, we can revive irrigation all over the country. States, local governments, the federal government must design a joint system deliberately designed to revive agriculture. Because when they dovetail into three levels of governance, agree on a system and a structure for agriculture, implementation will be easy. But it's not going to be easy if federal government is doing its own projects, state government are doing their own, local government are doing their own, and there is no connecting point. But if we design a uniform program for the entire nation, and everybody dovetails into it and contributes to it.